Tonight, the final league match continues, and there are no second chances for the poker elite. Their next move could be their last.
Coming up, the final heat concludes.
Jesus Christ, this deal is just incredible. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I haven't won one hand.
That's what they have to do every year in the Premier League. I lose every fucking race.
You just shut up.
I mean, are you freaking kidding me?
Turn an ace to end this race, yo.
It's okay, boys. It's nothing to be scared of.
What's it like to ever hit a flop, like ever?
Let me see it, Danny.
There you go. You're on the bottom.
I don't care. I don't care anymore.
Last time, a monkey sat in Luke Schwartz's seat, but when Full Flush came back to the table, it was
I can just
bananas.
literally do that. I can just go all in right now, and you're screwed, right? Okay, so I'm all in.
All in.
Really? No way. Good joke. That's so sick.
And he's in the final! You know what, I'm so confident in my heads-up game. Fuck it. Fuck it.
At least you put your money where your mouth was.
My heads-up game, I'll beat everyone in this whole party poker. It don't matter if I come there. It don't matter. Do me then, whatever, innit? I love it, I love it! In your eye, David Benyamine, you arrogant guy. Fucking think you can angle me. You just got so pwned, it's a joke.
We're on a break, and I've managed to catch up with David. I just wanted to ask you about the hand that happened between you and Luke, and Luke's kind of outburst at the table, and your impressions of that and of him today.
Well, he's been very lucky today. Obviously, he sat down only a few hands and picked up good hands and good spots. Well, he read me well that hand. I was kind of. It's not a very big deal for me at all to try to push him off the hand. I would have done the same if I had the hand. So I just did it. And worst case, he was going to do that, and I would still have like half my chips left, a little more. So he did it. Good for him.
In terms of his reaction, though, and I mean, a very big reaction, do you think that's a little over the top? Is there a place for that at the poker table?
It's a poker show, so you got to make the show, and he's making the show. He probably was not very confident in doing that. You know, it could have ended up being, very short in chips and have a chance to not qualify. So he had a lot of pressure there. I don't know if it was because of the pressure or if it was just, making the show. I think it was a little bit of both, actually.
Okay, thanks for the insight. Thank you very much.
Everyone gathered for the final heat, playing or not. They want to know who's going to make the cut.
How many times do I have the other great player on?
This is how the league stands at the moment. Locke didn't score any points, but save a Benyamine win tonight. He will be chip leader at the final table. Luke Schwartz strong and needs 5th or better to guarantee his final table seat. The Wolfe still looking over his shoulder at the relegation zone, hoping those players get knocked out. They're all still in it. Here's how the chips stand. Luke Schwartz on nearly 700K. Hellmuth going well, but not much between the others. Eyes are going to be on that relegation zone. And Roland the Wolfe, how long can he hang on?
I don't really care if Daniel's in there either.
Luke is
I'm
locked
joined
up
by
at top 3 or
Isaac
4, it looks like.
Haxton
So
for these closing stages of the
Luke here is your
Premier
friend.
League. We've
Luke is just
had
being
our
a good boy
slide
for you,
rules
Phil.
out,
He's
Isaac.
making sure he doesn't go broke.
Just like these players, computing the possibilities.
25,000.
Roland knows he needs to get moving.
Fold.
Roland stepped out of his box.
Cool.
And too many chips to go all in. He's playing a pot. I mean, this is fraught with danger.
I check, Roland.
Yeah, but I think that it's the situation. Oh, wow.
Check.
The situation we were talking about where he knows he needs to accumulate some chips to stick around. Can't just sit around folding.
So when he raised, he had to think that if he got a flop like this, he's going to stack off and risk getting out of the Premier League.
Absolutely.
100,000. Raise. All in.
Yeah, he will get it in here very
I got aces full. I guess I have to call.
Cool. I got jack. I got a jack too.
Wow! And even though Roland the Wolfe is a massive favorite in this spot,
Okay, this could be okay.
it's his Premier League if he gets knocked.
Absolutely.
You're in for a queen, Tony? Be honest.
Mr. Hellmuth got it in bad again.
Yeah, I played this hand really bad, Tony.
You got it in bad.
Tony, come on. Ace for the chop. Hellmuth's been bailed out.
Free roll for what?
Wow! Oh, so sick, unbelievable. He hit the queen and it doesn't help.
Roland was happy about that ace until he saw the queen, too.
You run bad, buddy. You run really bad. You
just
thought
get
you
him-
run good on the turn, huh?
I just get Hellmuth putting his money in so bad.
What a horrible play that I didn't raise before the flop.
It would have been an option for Hellmuth. Certainly would have been an option for him.
Sick, huh?
I mean, that's basically the final for me.
Wasn't in there 'cause it's 5,000, 10,000. It gets worse, Roland. Every time you raise my blind, I'm moving in. So I'm gonna tell you right now. So.
You do that.
That's why it was.
I get him in so bad, it's so scary. You just,
Yeah, you played down like a genius, Roland. Well done.
it's okay, buddy. One of these Premier Leagues, I'm going to be the lucky one.
Well, he's had 2 final
But he
tables.
hasn't covered, so I
I'm
mean,
not
so
going to
me.
do the same anyways.
Pass. Pass.
Oh, that
pass.
moan really works. You know, when you get up, you're like, it's not gonna come. It really, I think it adds.
He's been up and down. He's never lasted more than 1 consecutive hand, has he? Schwartz.
He was there for a couple. It was the first one he played, I think.
All right.
12,000. Pass.
All right.
Call.
I wonder who's giving Luke advice on this strategy. There must be somebody he's relying on to tell him that this is the right thing to do. I don't think he came up with this on his own, did he?
Checking.
Check.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, maybe he is just that. Maybe actually it is something he can only come up with on his own.
9,000.
Yeah.
Call.
I'm not doing like Tony G.
I'll go in every 4 hands to a lap of the table, look at a hand, and sort of a cooler flop in the scheme of things.
28,000. Pass.
Wow.
Hellmuth gets away pretty cheap, all things considered.
Yeah. Very cheap. Maybe Phil is zoned in.
You move in, you got me. Ace-5 of hearts. I can't call.
Maybe Phil is zoned.
That's true. He's not calling.
I'm re-raising.
Not calling. Probably not calling.
The last 15 or so minutes of this Premier League last match have not gone well for Vanessa Rousso. Roland with a chance to go out. Daniel with a chance to go out.
Up and down, up and down.
Both of them have caught Vanessa in the pack.
12,000. Pass.
She's got to be a little worried.
I'm gonna raise it.
Raise. Announced.
His game has gotten so wide right now. It feels like Luke Schwartz sitting there.
Yeah.
But you're not
Phil
crazy about
50
it.
total.
Phil just picks
Pass.
these spots for seemingly no reason to
Pass.
get aggressive, and they've mostly been letting him get away with it.
You know, he's so big on these physical tells. I don't know if that's part of what's going on. And he's getting stuff right.
Yep.
Yeah, Roland, I could have finished you off there, buddy. I had a feeling I was gonna beat you that hand. You had ace queen?
No.
Lines up to 5 and 10,000. Yeah, we're just sort of thinking about Vanessa Rousso here, Isaac, and it does look a little weird right now. It all depends on how many of the players behind her finish in the top 3. I think that's and how Roland does. And if we're having trouble at it staring at the paper, I mean, what's going through her head right now? Just keep folding until there's some kind of inflection point?
That seems to be more or less the approach she's taking.
I wish we could play in this 25k.
I think she needs
Would be nice.
to... I don't know if she necessarily needs to accumulate chips to accomplish this, but she needs to move up a couple spots.
There's Luke in the background. Now, Negreanu thought about re-raising from the big blind. He's definitely ahead of Hellmuth's range, but Hellmuth's got the better hand. Not now, really.
What about the 5K?
Right.
What's that?
Main event.
The 5k main event we can do.
I didn't even know there was, I was about to say
put them
that.
in
Call, re-raise, or jam?
Actually, I'm not 100% sure.
Probably jam. There's not a whole lot left to play.
She's like
I'll bet it for us.
Or maybe make a small raise to hope Hellmuth sticks it in with something much worse. If you could get Hellmuth to go with worse clubs, or 6-7, or ace-3, something like that, that's a pretty big win.
What about the idea that Hellmuth so often checks the turn if you just call here? Cheap, you get there cheap, or is
How much is main event? What do you want to know?
that not a big deal
5,000.
with a chance to win this whole pot?
Easy bet. Sorry.
When does it
Depends
start?
how often you think you're bluffing out other hands by shipping it.
It's 20th.
He's gone
He
for the
elects to
call.
Some say 19th, some say
And
20th.
right now, it looks like a reasonable decision. He's hit the nuts.
Saturday is the 20th. It starts Saturday. What time?
Hellmuth has been pretty dead on playing Negreanu today.
Stuck at the Venetian?
I'm not a big gambler, so generally I'm willing to.
500 bucks doesn't mean check.
He has gone for the check, and kind of looks pretty likely that Negreanu hit his hand and gets no value from it.
Does look that way.
It's bad for the table. Everyone's chewing.
Of course, you do open up the possibility of the river
80,000.
bluff shove and giving Hellmuth that. There's always got to be some value in giving Hellmuth that opportunity right now.
Yeah.
I was hoping Philly had a big one. I was going to play it on the flop or play it on the turn. I mean, I just had the nuts. No, not the nuts. Pardon me, the board paired. So.
Yeah, I was ready to play with you all on before the flop. I had you down.
No, I didn't. I had 8-9 of clubs. I didn't want to do that.
I seem to have not been very lucky with ace queen in this league, I'll tell you that much.
Cheer up, Phil. You still got a big stack.
D-more pappy.
Huh?
They call that D-more pappy. Like the last day, it doesn't matter, whatever.
Not really even.
Everybody's sort of remarkably still in this.
Anyway, that
Yeah,
nine
there've
on
been
the end
some
was
big
almost my
pots,
card.
but it's all been even in and
At
out.
that point, I would have bet
You know, Wolfe should feel
70.
great.
Kind of cool.
And, you know, surprising, of
almost it,
course,
Vanessa, the nine.
anybody but Benyamine. And Benyamine, you're not surprised. Still a weak kind of hand.
Of course.
Check.
It's just taking its price and hoping some good spots come up after the flop some of the time. Such as this one. There's a real good shot he fires ahead here and wins it.
Check.
You should really not be playing Benyamine online. I'm telling you what. You are really. This is a guy you need to avoid, Isaac.
You are not the first person to tell me that. I'm stuck more than a little bit playing Heads Up No Limit with David Benyamine online.
Cool. 33,000. So.
Tony G has called here because he was so sure that
Benyamine would bet an 8 on the turn.
Right.
Yeah.
So, is it?
I don't know if I
Is
fold
it just? Was that sick good or was that? Wow.
Weird.
Wow. He just made Tony G. Look at him. Tony G is pretty hot right now. He feels like he really just got owned.
Yeah.
He did.
I mean, it's not quite like seeing David just turn up Queen 10 or something there, but it's still pretty frustrating.
Oh. Cool. Option.
God, remember when he carved you up with the 3-8 of spades?
I'm not afraid to play with you. Trust me. I'm not afraid to race with nothing here. After the flop.
Either before or after. Yeah, I have an investment for that hand.
No.
I have a bankroll. I have a bankroll. Check.
Check.
This is my bankroll. Check, check.
This was a limp in from Benyamine. Check out of the big blind from Phil H. And
12,000. Cool.
bottom pair.
I have an investment too.
How big is it?
Slash it in there.
Check.
Check.
Queen high.
Yeah, those deuces are always good.
Not a
in
big
that spot.
investment.
Oh, 20 was good now.
I might call 20. I mean, you got to have like, what can you bet 20 with? You have
Anything better than the deuce. I would bet 20 with.
I mean, that's what, you know, I mean, you're a
Anything
player.
better
You're
than the
capable of firing out there with nothing on the rip.
That's okay. I won one, lost one.
Darth Vader now in Luke's seat.
5 points to
I am your father, Luke.
The back room in his house.
Maybe he's got a rich girlfriend or something.
That looks pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Still got the chip lead.
Raised to 20,000.
Maybe, Isaac, a testament to how much play there is in this tournament.
Yeah.
You know, blinds haven't eaten them up.
No, not really.
Cool. Fold. Heads up.
What's going on with Roland here? Obviously, when you just call with the ace jack, you may have to stack off kind of light, and I'm like this. This is
Well, this is not too light. He's flopped pretty huge here, but
yeah, but it's your Premier League. I mean, it's his Premier League, top pair, top kicker.
against Hellmuth's open for 20 big blinds, I think Roland is just thinking about the way to get Hellmuth to put the most money possible in this pot. He really likes his hand.
Drawy board. Do you just call and then if it comes over cards, make another decision, or do you jam and get called by the draws?
I think he should jam.
Jam and really risk going out.
All in.
I mean, you got to get the chip somehow.
Fold.
Got it. And one thing that Roland is doing different in this Premier League last match than in previous Premier Leagues is, I don't know, I think he's taking a few more chances. I think he's playing some poker.
Yeah. Well, he's last in chips and he needs to move up a few spots. I think he has to.
I know, but he's such a folding machine.
30,000.
There's Luke wandering around. He's got those, I don't think those are tournament chips. I'm guessing those are casino chips. Roll high rollers.
Can we open the bet again?
I'll bet. I mean, you could make a wager. Do you think, now we've been playing this game for 3, 4, 5 hours, do you think at any point he has actually stayed in the same place for more than 4 minutes in a row?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe if you call the entire room surrounding this poker table one place, then he has a shot.
He's like,
he might have stayed in the high rollers lounge for more than 4 minutes.
Nah, I paced the table, switched tables, switched games, said so sick. That's what I'm talking about. I'd actually, you know those kids, it's like the day after Halloween when they finally open their bag up and just eat like 94 bars of chocolate? That's what he's like right now. On a sugar buzz.
Welcome back. It's Season 4 of the Party Poker Premier League Poker, and the pressure is on. Tonight we find out who will fall into the relegation zone and who will keep their dreams of a Premier League title alive.
In like an hour and a half.
What's been happening in the pots where it's Luke's big blind? People have been going after it. Have there been any sort of weird dynamics because of that free money?
Raise to 20,000.
I mean, everybody's certainly been aware of it, but I don't think there's been any one player who's attacking it more than any other.
It'll become, you know, certainly the next level. I mean, there becomes a level at which if he doesn't show back, then you got to go after that money. It's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
And as we said that, it is Luke's big blind right here, and Hellmuth with the re-raise of Benyamine.
Yeah.
With nothing.
Benyamine takes the flop this time.
Has Benyamine been setting Hellmuth up? Has he been letting him rob him for a spot like this? Look how big this pot is now. Or is the math just too against making a play with the queen jack?
It's tricky. I wonder what the play would be if he wants to do something other than fold here.
Or fill better size.
Shoving is pretty big. Yeah.
45,000.
Did he size this right?
I actually like that sizing there. Yeah. Leaves 2 streets worth of betting after this, which is good for Phil because he's in position. It puts enough pressure on David that he has to fold hands like that. I like the way Hellmuth played that.
And that is yes. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, he's the best player in the world. If you are the greatest poker player in the world,
Caffeine, baby.
And you say you're the greatest poker player in the world, Isaac, does it mean you have an ego?
You don't even have 8-10. 8-10 would look good.
Pass. Pass, pass.
Negreanu only has 20 big blinds.
Raise 30,000. Pass.
We're looking for Season 5.
He's in a sort of ugly spot if Phil
Would you
shoves
start the
here.
hand with that? About 300.
I think Phil is very likely to shove.
There'd be a lot of sense in it. It's not his style. That's the only thing that it doesn't make sense in it.
Nah, he just calls.
I mean,
I hope you just don't get more than half the pot.
you know, the last time Hellmuth stuck in 20 big blinds. I mean,
Check it.
Yeah, that's true. He's been threatening to, but that's probably just to make it look weaker for when he finally does it with a big hand.
Check.
and the door open. Great card.
20,000.
Oh God, is he doing this? Oh, it's not a min bet again.
By
By
a
how
very small amount. It's not a min bet.
Less than
it's
a third
awfully
pot.
close, yeah. I suppose Daniel will probably just call here and figure out what to do in the end.
Right, so he's between calling and raising, and
he might fold. Yeah, he folds.
I had you wire to wire. I had an ace. Yeah, out of pocket pair. Wow. Ace 8 I had.
You had what?
Ace 8.
and Hellmuth gets it through.
I wanted you to bet on the flop. I was going to call. So you might have had a pair and straight. Yeah,
Still
yeah,
are.
yeah. You had like
You
4s
are.
or 3s. Yeah, I
I
had
was.
3s,
I got it
but I
when
mean, I wasn't folding.
So full flush now, watching from the rail. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He hasn't been there more than a minute. I mean, just count on your watch. He'll be somewhere else by the time this hand is over.
Can't let you hit that ace.
And so he doesn't trust himself to sit at the table and look at cards?
Check dark. I mean, of course.
I don't know what it is. I mean, that must be it.
Pass. Pass.
It's too funny. There is a scenario where he actually is going to have to come back here and play some poker.
Is there?
What you got there, Tony G? How many?
250 total.
And a lot of it has to do with Vanessa, Rousso,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Roland DeWolf.
27,000.
Yeah, if a couple of those
I think you can make it 30.
people are doing well, he actually will have to fight for his top 4 spot.
Oh yeah, we changed.
I'm all in. 250 total.
All in.
There you go, Phil. Go for it.
Pass.
It's either me or you.
Tony's found a good spot here.
Take 30 from him and give me a count, please.
200. 216 more. 246 total.
Now that's a good look. Oh,
I like
that's a
that.
great look. Read that, Phil. How can you? What do you think? What does the body language say of Kermit the Frog?
I'd hate to have you dominated here and lay this down. It's just not my style to call here, I guess.
Pass.
That's what it came down
It's just
to.
not Phil Hellmuth. Could be one day. Kermit the Frog.
I'm not afraid of anything today. I don't care.
Yeah, you look
I
like
don't really care, man.
You have the eye of the panda.
I am panda.
For 22 is not enough. If you had like 80, then
Rousso and DeWolf
you don't win enough.
I didn't have that
shadowing each other.
That was the most thing.
I don't think you'd be moving.
12 big
I do
blinds
6.
and 15 big blinds.
There's no value.
We got
Clockwise.
rolling? About 200?
Yeah.
I'll open for 68,000.
Raise to 68,000.
I'm all in.
And he's
I
pot
open
committed
for-
Hellmuth against DeWolf, but what about against G?
That's what's so weird about this raise. I mean, he's not committed
give me the
against G. I
16
think
and
he has
move
to
on to the
fold
next.
here.
I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going
Got
to fold.
400.
That,
Over 400.
there was no need to raise so big. He can raise smaller and still call
Maybe I'm
Roland
going to end
to
this time.
shove. And this is just burning chips by Phil.
Open for 68.
How can you not needle him
Well,
there?
he's just,
I had an
you know,
ace.
you present Tony with the
from
layup. I
space.
mean, he get it every
I'm ready
time.
to die. You're not ready to die. You ready to outplay people? Well, outplay me.
Show me how to outplay me. Open for 68. I'll open for 100. I'll close for 400.
You open 68, I close for 400.
Tony G on a bit of a roll. He relishes the role of table captain.
It's out of your hands.
And here comes Phil. Little raise into the teeth of the dragon. Tony calls him instantly.
In the old days, how good you were, like if you weren't all in, that was a good sign of being a good
I'm
player.
playing the same way now. He hasn't been all in.
I'm all in 2 out of 2 hands.
Tony's not completely stupid. He thinks Hellmuth actually might
Maybe
snap
you
him
could
off
outplay me
here.
this hand. You could. You haven't. Right? You could outplay me.
I think Tony's just feeling good and taking flops.
Check.
I bet 34.
That is 34,000.
Unlucky, son. No, you're running back.
Wow, what a momentum shift. You're right.
No, I ain't that hand.
And if there's ever a guy
You
to
wanna
press
see
the
one?
momentum, it's G.
9 hard.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, you're going to lose every pot. It's out of your hands now. You're just such a good guy. You fire me up. I just want to produce something. I want to go out blazing. I don't want to go out like you dribbling away.
I need to finish first or second. Do you think I'm here to ante off?
I'm all in.
All in.
Yeah, it's your blind, I'm all in.
Pass. Pass.
Tell me, show me. You ready to die? I want to see.
Pass. Pass. Pass.
Everyone's a winner.
Pretty unbelievable.
I don't care.
Not even a sweat though.
I'm here to win it all. I'm here to take it all. Not like you.
Are you still talking
You
to
bet
me?
you I'm going to be all in on my blind. There you go.
Are you
I'm gonna
still
be all
talking
in.
to me?
I don't care. I don't care anymore. Just going to be all in every hand. Okay, I'll pass 1 out of 6. So I missed out being all in there. Last 6 hands.
He's like at a table with him. He's the one doing this. And
Phil's gonna try and put Tony in his place.
Okay.
I mean, this is a
We'll
big
have to see how that works out.
Well, and that may be the metagame that Tony's playing here.
Raise to 40,000.
Well, for the amount of hands that Luke is played today, he is picking up some big hands.
Talk, eh?
Yep.
Yeah, well, there's one player that is difficult to move all in on.
Oh,
Tell me the truth. Should I
we
move all in?
caught him
I have to
talking!
call. I don't want to call, but I'll have to call.
Well, if I see a flop, that's fair.
That'll be your best bet. Yeah,
See a flop,
but I don't want you to do that either.
I got to see a flop. I mean, I can't just do the talking.
Just
and-
fold, just fold, just fold. Trust me, just fold. I'll show you my hand when you fold, if you fold.
But I have a really nice hand.
I know, but it's just doesn't play well with my hand.
Wow. I love
I have a really nice hand.
He's been very honest,
I just
actually.
want the one blind. I mean,
Like, I just can't give up my blind.
you're owning the table
blind,
anyway.
I won't
Listen,
blind.
you're owning the table anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but there's a lot of money in there. Look at the money, like there's 50, 60, there's 62 for 25.
Even he knows that basic stuff.
I'm happy to see it. I mean, I just got to see the flop.
How about this, yeah?
Yeah.
Is it blind?
Wait a minute. Come on, this is really
We're
starting.
talking head to head. You just shut up.
Can both players agree to check down?
No, of course not.
No, we can't. I'll just see the flop and I'll just give it up if it's not good.
Oh, that's gotten Phil upset.
The guy had
But
his money.
the fact is that
Anyway,
Tony is
Shut up
the,
and sit down. You're not even in the hand.
he is the only stack of the
I just
table
wanna
that
make
can
sure everything's on the
really
square,
punish
man.
Luke,
What
and
do you
vice
think? I'll
versa.
do something not on a square? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say that, Tony. You want to play this tape for the public and explain it to them? It's bad for everybody.
Just not even in a hand. You haven't even played a hand.
You know that shit's gonna happen when I'm at the table.
Oh, why not an action flop?
Check.
Why couldn't it come 9 jack?
I
I
check in
mean,
the
with
dark.
2 diamonds, you know, just to see.
behind. So do the river.
Check, check.
Yeah, build the river.
Becomes a jack.
Is that 6, 7? I check.
Jacks.
Check.
I needed a jack. That would have been sick.
What is
for me.
this? Are you freaking serious? How do you play 8 hands total and have aces, jacks, jacks? That's incredible. I'm just
That's a big
shocked.
hand for me. That's the biggest hand.
All
I
right, let's
have.
go on the next one.
Jack would have
How
been
can I
a
lay
six
that
as well.
down? I can't. Even though I had the right option, Jack would have been sick for you. 62 now.
Players, I need to remind you that player abuse is not acceptable in this tournament.
Okay, abuse you. Go away. We know the rules here. What is this? Kindergarten. You just sit on your chair like you do and watch the game from the screen.
Okay, I'm going to be clear on these points. Under no circumstances can you abuse a player.
All right, thank you very much.
Completely clear on
Thank
the
you.
points.
Bye. Move on.
Wow. No masks, no abuse. I don't know what's left.
Maybe that's why Tony G wants to leave.
Oh, I was so confident that Phil
Okay, you
was
guys at
gonna.
Poker News, don't
and
record
I'm,
my
I'm
all in
worried
hands.
now.
Take
How do
them
you
off.
feel? It seems like he's about to overplay a
an order.
hand, doesn't he?
Pass.
Definitely get that feeling from him,
I don't want him to know what I had. You want to just do the ball blind?
Do what you have to do, buddy. Do what you have to do.
I'm all in. I was going to do it blind. I swear to God I was going to do it blind.
Now, decision? Yes, no.
Do it, just call.
I think he's got a call.
He got a call. I was thinking he had got a fold.
You got me so far.
I know I have you. I have you for sure.
You have me, there's no risk. There's no risk, just take it. How much have you got? Let me just line it up, give it to you, and you just take it.
Okay, let's
We don't
see.
even have to, you know what? If you've got the best hand, you just take it. How about that? We won't even have to gamble. You've got to play.
I call.
Call.
Wow, he agrees with you, Isaac.
Yeah. I mean, Benyamine going out doesn't do you any good.
That
You
was a
gain 2
gamble.
points, but so does everyone else in the field. And Roland has to
figured you're doing
maintain
good.
his lead over a bunch of
Yeah,
people
I mean,
who have
you would have
chips.
liked to see 7-8 instead of that.
This is it. This is Wolfe's Premier League.
Yeah, he loses this, he's done.
This is for Roland's Premier League. It's not good
I haven't
flop.
won one of these hands yet of the whole tournament.
Wow, that was a gutsy call. That was a really gutsy call. There's the
This
ace.
dealer is just incredible. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I haven't won one hand.
Nasty shocks on the river.
Just haven't won fucking hand. I mean, what the fuck is going on?
That was
David, shut up.
Fuck.
No, I don't care.
Fucking joke.
river card to come.
You know,
Wow.
like when it comes down in
Wow, Tony's
like,
blown up.
It comes down in slow motion and you like feel it shuddering through your head.
He's
like,
blown up.
He's going to be second in chips even
don't let
after
me
this
win one
hand.
hand.
I don't
Not
really
one.
know what he's so worked up about.
How can I win? I
Tell
can't
you
win
what,
one hand. I'll win.
he's opening the door to get needled by Phil. Phil should tell him how
What
well
have
he
you got,
played.
200?
Not even.
It's like I'm drawing dead every hand you deal.
Wow, tempers are flaring so much. And to Wolfe, that was a gutsy call. I mean, that
Gutsy
took,
call for sure. I think he's got to do it.
took
but
brawn.
Unless I come to
Who are you going to lose
How
to
do you
in
do
heads
it?
up?
Like you
The
get
only
me,
person who's
not on
better
a
than
flop,
you
but
is
you get
JC.
me all the time, every time. I haven't won one fucking hand.
Live?
Tony is hotter than a firecracker. How is Hellmuth letting this opportunity go by? Open hunting season on G right now.
Fucking disgusting.
He turned on a dime. He has turned on a dime. Tony's gotten on his bike. Blinds are going up, Isaac. 10 and 20,000. I mean, what about the numbers surprise you the most?
Schwartz's performance so far, obviously, is pretty bizarre. He's barely been at the table and has just gotten giant hands. And Negreanu and Benyamine both played so strangely against him, too, to give him all those chips.
Little bike ride to clear his thoughts and get some fresh air, and maybe that'll help.
I'm going to focus mainly on what everyone else needs. I know that Roland only needs a few points, Vanessa as well, so I'm going to exploit the fact that they have to be patient and wait for really good hands in certain spots.
As in Premier League 3 and Premier League 2, the final heat's all going to be down to me waiting for people to bust, and I hope it's more like Premier League 3 where Nenad Medic busted himself and a couple of other players, rather than Premier League 2 where I folded for 82 hands and 11 times the all-in player won.
I really don't care if I come out and last. It's not a big deal to me. Like, I win millions of dollars online. There's so much online. I'm so calm. I don't even care about this.
I would love to send Phil Hellmuth on this bike to start with. Then I'd like to send Daniel Negreanu on this bike. Then I'd like to send Vanessa Rousso, and then Roland the Wolfe. That'll be the order for the day, and then I'm very happy.
I have a good feeling about today. That's all I'm going to say.
Welcome back to Season 4 of the Party Poker Premier League Poker, where the game's elite are battling it out for part of a $1.5 million prize pool. The final league match is in action. Let's get back to the table.
Well, the stakes are going up, and that's not the only thing, Isaac. Tempers are flaring, and you just feel like Tony G he is hot as a firecracker.
Yeah, he is not happy.
Phil told me to wait for him.
I just called Phil, but he didn't answer his phone.
The amazing, now they've started this round, players back from a break,
Tony
without
G.
Phil Hellmuth.
I mean,
Did you have a drink on the break?
I had a drink.
How many? What did you drink? Wine or vodka?
I had a half a bottle of wine.
It changes my range. If
It's
it's wine
kind
or
of bad
vodka.
not to wait for Phil.
Huh?
I had a half a bottle of wine.
Half a bottle of wine. Half a bottle of wine. Half a bottle of wine. Let's do it. All in.
All in.
The heck? You've got nothing. Nothing.
How much do you have?
I've got 276, I think.
What a spot for Negreanu.
All you can eat, baby. I have 200, 280.
Can't really ever
286?
call.
All you can eat.
No, of course
Baby.
he can't call.
It's a really big hand I have.
All right, that's
Okay.
What? He's called?
He has called.
He just wants to go home.
No, he wants to do something to change the momentum.
well, I got ace. I mean, obviously.
Oh, he's got an ace. Okay. All right, good luck.
Ace from space.
Give him an ace one time. He deserves it.
I mean, this feels
being on time.
weird, Isaac.
I was here the whole time anyway. Ooh, that's a good flop for me.
To say the least.
6 would be good.
And for Negreanu, this just changed everything. Look at Roland to Wolfe. He's like, how can this dunk give Negreanu all these chips? An ace from space.
Yeah.
Look at Roland. He is sick.
Oh, that's
They're all
150.
sick.
200.
They've just put Negreanu back in the Premier League.
Absolutely.
And it's hurt
286,
Roland
like I
DeWolf
said.
more than
It's the first
anybody.
hand, so
Roland
whatever I
DeWolf and
had,
Vanessa
I
Russo.
called you, bro. Sorry. It was the very first hand. You didn't want any piece of
And
this
Phil
anyway.
Hellmuth has rejoined us.
You missed this
That
very
was the
first
first hand back from the
Third or
break.
better.
If Hellmuth had been there for that first hand, it wouldn't have been 210.
Yes, fourth
Wouldn't
is
have been
death.
an ace 3.
Fourth is death, yeah.
Absolute death. So when we get down to 4, you can just rape me.
And there was we were just talking about sort of the counts and stuff like that. Coming back from this break, because of where Benyamine was and because of where Luke was, it so looked like Negreanu was going to have to be getting second or better and not third or better. He looked like he was under so much pressure, so desperate. And then the gift horse in the mouth. Wow. Almost limped in here with the threes. And
how much more? 60?
80,000 total, 60,000 medical.
This is interesting pressure.
And a call.
What is Hellmuth's plan in this
Gambling
hand?
now, gentlemen.
I really don't know.
There's 180 in the pot. He's 300 back. Is he just going to make a read on Negreanu on the flop?
That must be the plan.
Well, read this, Phil. He could bet out 15 here.
Phil might if he were in Negreanu's spot. He can bet like 60 and have a good chance of getting the fold from an under pair.
I wonder if, I mean, what has Negreanu put Hellmuth's range on here? It doesn't really look like 2 3s, does it?
Phil plays so weird. It doesn't look like anything if it's from anybody else, but Phil could have 2 3s, as he does. He could have king, queen. He could have aces. It's so hard to put Phil on a hand the way he's been playing lately.
Has Daniel already dogged this, or is he just...
Nah, he's got 2 more streets he can bluff at it on. Here it comes.
100,000. Fold.
For the crowd only.
Wow.
Huh? For the crowd only. You see it?
7-9.
No, no 7 or 9 in my hand.
I saw some.
You did not see a 3.
I saw racks.
Nice try. She's trying to tilt you. She's trying to tilt you. Saying
play,
I had a
man.
3. I didn't have a 3. Don't say stuff like that. Make up stories.
You could have
Did
had
anyone
ace
see a
queen.
3?
He didn't have rags. You could have had ace queen.
He did,
He could have had ace
I
queen.
limp with the middle pair. I changed my strategy to play really tight.
He could have had queen
In the middle of 2s and 4s.
I mean,
any other people?
overall, how often was Phil going to win that pot?
I would guess not very. I mean,
was he going to win it more than 20% of the time? I mean, I just, even against the queen 3, I mean, I don't know.
beginning with the limp under the gun, the whole hand is pretty strange.
What have these people been doing on the break? Obviously, Negreanu eating the Wheaties, but I mean, Tony G has been on a bit of wine, but usually that gives him power. It might have been corked. It must have been corked, that wine.
Cool.
And just something we were talking about earlier, Isaac, is that Negreanu, when Wolfe raises, if Negreanu's got position, I was thinking maybe he would take off flops because busting Wolfe is massive for Negreanu.
Yeah.
If Negreanu busts Wolfe, he probably only has to get third. If he doesn't, he may need to get second. In fact, that's actually for sure. And the Hellmuth could have, I mean, just easily have shoved here.
Yeah, shoving pre-flop is, I think, very clearly the best play in Phil Hellmuth's seat there.
40,000.
What was the idea about Wolfe's range?
I mean, it doesn't even have to be that wide. Pocket 9s is a pretty huge hand for 15 big blinds.
I just have this scary feeling that Negreanu is going to find a way to win this with the worst hand and leave Phil with like 8,000 in chips or something. You can see Phil betting like 184 on the river, leaving himself with 16,000 and getting bluffed off. Oh, this is scary.
Cool.
Just don't put up like a king or an ace because it's just going to go all horrible.
$40,000.
Well, he got there with that small bet size eventually, Phil Hellmuth. I mean, you know, what have you play against it? Are you happy to play against it, or is
I was shipping on, Roland.
Yeah, I mean, it just gives you so many choices. It doesn't put that much pressure on you to fold, so you take one off with your draws, and you raise your strong hands, and you raise some bluffs. And he almost never has a good hand when he does it, so you really can raise for value pretty wide and then bluff a lot, and just torture him, really.
I mean, I did have a set of jacks.
We played like 3 hands.
A set of jacks. Come on, sell it to somebody else.
3 hands since the break, and
I couldn't beat queens.
You know, Wolfe has gone a little bit in trouble. Hellmuth's got a few chips back. G is as good as out. Wow.
I had a big hand. I'm all in. All in.
And he's open shoved.
Cool.
With the 8-10 into one out, Tony G only had like 4 big blinds.
5,
so,
yeah.
Actually, it's quite standard, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Tony G has really been giving Phil Hellmuth stick through the Premier League. This is his chance to take him out.
You're due to hold one, Tony. You feel it?
Feel the power. I think I'm due to win one.
To eliminate Mr. G.
6 cards to send G walking. Are you going to hear him scream?
Oops, there it is.
There it is.
That's the best.
Wow.
Hold on.
And he is out.
On your bike, Tony.
You never win a race. It's hard to win when you
I
win a
haven't
race.
won one hand. Well done, everyone.
And out of the Premier League.
You write him down.
So that's what it's like to win a race in the Premier League.
11 points.
Trusty little pad.
Nearly guaranteed to be bottom.
Let me see it, Danny.
There you go. There you go. You're on the bottom. What else do you need to know?
Well, I'm told that Vanessa fourth and Roland third and me second is not good for me.
We've just lost Tony G from the table, and we could see a lot of frustration in you when you came back from the break, and as well before the call with the ace-3. Talk me through that.
No, I mean, I had to bust Daniel out. I mean, I got to beat him home, so I played, and yeah, it didn't work out. And I mean, I haven't won one hand where I've been all in, so that's 12 in a row now, so that's good. That's the way it goes, and that's a good lesson.
So 6 players left now. How have things changed as far as what you need to do?
Getting Tony out of there is a good thing for Wolfe and Rousso and everybody else who's pretty close. Particularly those two, though.
If it finished like that,
with Negreanu taking 11 points and Hellmuth taking 8 points, it would not be enough for Phil Hellmuth.
That's right.
Phil
Hellmuth
Hellmuth
needs second or better to advance.
Right.
I'm all in.
Hellmuth has called this, and Roland's moved all in behind with the kings. What's Phil got?
The pad out.
Now, is this math-wise, is the triv call, or it's like 200 more, but it's three-way action?
Wow, this is ugly.
No, this is far from a trivial
there's
call
83.
for Hellmuth.
Queens.
It's been folded.
I have the Jack 9.
I have the Jack 9.
And Benyamine all in. This is great for the Wolfe.
Been run out yet?
Yeah.
Benyamine's been known to do
Fantastic
strange
spot for the Wolfe.
This is bad for me too.
8, 10, Queen. Oops.
That looks pretty safe.
That is not a good start.
God, I wish I would have had ace jack.
That looks pretty safe.
Or 10.
Yeah,
Pencil
there's a
Benyamine
couple
on
combinations of runner available for Benyamine.
No 8, no 10.
You make it a little spicy for you.
I don't like anything spicy. I have a very plain English taste.
Oops.
It's going to be tough.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Good job.
All right, David.
You played much better than usually. I'm happy for you.
How incredible is this? Locke
Good luck
and
in the finals,
Benyamine.
David. Must be nice, buddy. Must
Two
be
of the
nice.
first three out the door in this last match.
How did Phil
Benyamine,
call?
38 points and guaranteed to be the final table.
That's right.
Have you in? I mean, obviously when I know your hand's King Jack and you're dead, I don't mind it.
We've just lost David, but with enough points really that your final table space is assured, so that's very nice. It's been a volatile table though. Give me your impressions of the match.
Well, it's been interesting today. Lots of good hands all over. I didn't have many of those, but I tried whatever I could. I made a move earlier that didn't turn out to be the right one at the right time, but I was already qualified for the final. It was not very important today for me.
Well, we can't wait to see you in the final, so thank you and good luck there.
Thank you.
If you would have studied like a minute, you might have got me to call.
Luke Schwartz now guaruated 4 points.
All in.
The only people that can knock him out of the top 4 would be Roland, the Wolfe, and Vanessa Rousso by winning.
So you're in the playoffs, sir?
Not necessarily. Not if Hellmuth wins. And Daniel's second and I'm 5th. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll tell you now, yeah? Fold.
Fold.
All in.
Fold. All in.
Really? Just give me Jack 10 suited. One time. I'm all in.
Wow! All in.
Oh my God!
What you got?
This
Kings
is
or queens?
horrible.
No, neither. Jacks. Ah! Crap. Well, good luck.
I think this might be really bad for. This might have been tactically really bad for Schwartz.
Because if you got more chips, you knock him out. It's fine.
God, I got to rip for
This could be a disaster.
No.
I mean, obvious for Negreanu, who needs to gamble, but for Luke,
Good to get me out. Believe me.
this could be a complete brain squelcher.
Right here. You're gonna smack the dealer if no ace or king comes?
100 for
I
the
should come on the
dealer.
other side and smack him
Another 100,
harder.
another 100.
Wow,
He's bribing.
Schwartz has still got 143,000 back. This is massive
Well,
for
Daniel.
Negreanu.
Wow, Daniel's on the verge of wowie.
He certainly
Wowie?
is.
At least Daniel's got the chips.
He is on the verge.
I don't have him yet. You can still catch an ace or a king, my friend.
I doubt it.
It's 14%. 14%. All right.
And Negreanu with a huge double up.
I honestly don't know, Isaac. I mean, maybe there was merit to that play in the overall scheme of things, but has that rattled Luke Schwartz? Negreanu now flowing through his veins.
Good for me?
That's very bad for.
Has that rattled Luke Schwartz? Negreanu now
The way the deck's
flowing through his veins.
like the way just little things have gone in your favor.
I might win the whole thing. I hope so.
Yeah, the ace queen against ace king against that guy, and then today.
Yeah, that
coin
was,
flip.
that was
Well,
big.
if I finish second, I pass Yevgeny and Tony. That's
Roland
2.
needs to go get that Kermit now.
Yevgeny and
I
Tony.
got to worry about you 3.
Exactly. You got to pass 2 more of us.
Right.
And that could be tough. If Luke goes out, you could be in rough shape. Just win. Just win, baby.
Yeah. Just win is easy. Yeah, you're right. I agree with that.
Then you don't have to worry about it. You can see the pad. Here you are, my friend.
Vanessa Rousso
I
is
brought a pad, paper. Gentlemanly player now that I got the chips.
really under
How many
pressure.
points you get for fifth? 4 points.
4 points for fifth. You're up there. Here's your update here. You've got 27, sir. Fraser's 26.
Yeah, so I got 27.
Don't touch my stuff. Don't write on my freaking pad. I put 27. You don't write on my pad.
Well, you put 23, 24, 25,
Then
26.
27. It's right there. Can't you read? Are you dense? It says 27.
Just figuring out what kind of bad move that was with the ace king. Was it? I mean, was it a bad move?
No one can play with my toys.
It's really hard to say.
Oh, she raised.
It's hard to say how much value there is in it from a pure chip perspective.
Right. And the equity of getting 16 points, which is $32,000 straight, plus the chance of the Premier League, the chips and stuff like that.
Fold. 600.
And Negreanu's got to be making these plays, and sorry, Hellmuth has to be making these plays, and Negreanu knows it.
Yeah, Negreanu has seen.
It's a good hand too.
Hellmuth do that time and time again.
I had kings.
Can't require a much stronger hand than he had to go with it, I would think.
Had an ace.
Hellmuth cannot let Negreanu get too far away from him, because a Negreanu first and Hellmuth second could still leave Phil out the door if the Wolfe or Rousso get third.
Right.
I know that sounds strange, but all of a sudden, such a real possibility because of Luke Schwartz's disappearance here.
40,000.
He is not looking like one of the top 3 spots. In fact, J.C. Tran can just kiss his Premier League goodbye thanks to Luke Schwartz. I mean, hasn't happened yet, but it's so likely.
Yeah, that could definitely be how it works out.
This guy's wondering how many times he can go to the well.
Yeah. Wow, can he do it again? He's thinking about it. He's thinking
Am I
about
supposed
it.
to say what Roland says? I'll show you when you fold?
Cool.
No.
He could have.
Oh, no,
I wonder if it
you
would have
say.
worked.
Very well might have.
Fold.
But
Fold.
I kind of.
Ship it in the dark.
And Roland just passed ace 10. I feel like this is a good strategy by Hellmuth to play pots in position with Negreanu.
I don't care.
He has to.
I gotta
outplay
take one of you
Negreanu.
3 out.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah.
You like it. Sensible call.
I think so.
Might as well start here with the big one, huh?
Negreanu has not been playing
I
tight,
check.
so
Check.
Phil's king jack, not a weak hand at all relative to what Negreanu's coming in with.
Check.
Check.
I guess maybe sort of a standard line for Negreanu.
Check.
That's a really odd check with 3 hearts on board.
I hope so.
Is this
Give me some pointers.
trying to get value on the
help
river,
somehow.
or is it just
Does his
some kind of
business.
weird deception?
I check.
Check.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
I know you have
deception.
60 pairs.
60.
Hang on, I don't see how it's possible that you have me beat, so I have to call you 60.
I got jacks full.
That's good. Wow. Damn.
Full, thanks.
I had that. It looked like absolute nuts.
The queen was a good card for me, I think.
Yeah.
I wonder if Phil was just trying to be weird there, Isaac.
There's some value in being weird.
fold after
We've
16
seen
million
it
years.
from Benyamine a lot in the Premier League and from
Didn't
all
like
the
turn card,
players,
you were worried
really.
I had a better kicker?
Showing up with a stronger hand than people expect you to.
I was hoping you
check
didn't have a
down
heart in your hand,
pots
and maybe you
can work out really well.
So Roland, you're still not in, huh?
They find new ways of torturing me. I mean, probably, but like it could like go ugly for me with like the wrong combination of shit.
Fold.
Negreanu.
Raise. 40,000 and a call.
I mean, this is really funny. It's like comical.
And he's aware that
Fold.
that Hellmuth is just shadowing him here. He's always out of position.
500. That's so fucked.
Maybe 450.
Hit it.
I just went through the blinds.
What should should he be tightening up because of Hellmuth?
Can't believe you're going to come first.
It's hard to say.
It's just too
I mean,
fucked up.
an opportunity to beat Hellmuth in a big pot here is great for Negreanu.
Or he just kind of feels like he's going to keep playing these little pots and he's going to catch Phil?
I think so, yeah. And nobody else is standing up to him, so even with a lot of resistance from Phil, he's still probably making profitable steals.
Hellmuth, this is the second time Hellmuth has sort of checked behind with a pretty good hand.
He's trying to trap
Check.
Daniel. Daniel's not falling for it.
40,000.
Now a slightly trickier line here than
Cool.
the last hand. And Phil's gonna bet most rivers for value.
I think so.
Check.
This is the kind of river that most of the young guys would always bet for value, right? You can't really be scared of the jack here. You have to bet it and make a tricky decision. Or
83,000.
you're not.
I don't know. I'm a little scared of the jack in general here.
Yeah. The pot big enough then. What are you trying to get paid off by? Is that what you're
A
saying?
9, I guess, is what you're trying to get paid off by. There's also no particular reason Daniel can't have king 10 or even king queen.
Right.
It's a bit of an ambitious bet. On the other hand, Daniel's been paying Phil off a lot.
Right. I mean, maybe it's ace queen of hearts. Ace 10.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, and
I have a
Daniel.
feeling you made 3 jacks on the river. That's what I think. I feel like Phil Hellmuth has in his hand.
29 points.
And then he usually says, "But I'll pay you off anyway," doesn't he?
Queen
Yes, he does.
and the jack. I'm trying that, so I'm just
I know,
trying
I
that.
know.
Yes,
I know.
queen and the
I
jack
know
is
how
what
it
I'm putting on.
goes.
I could be dead wrong, but I'll give him credit for queen.
Go on,
jack.
Daniel, lay one
I
down.
cannot beat queen jack, so I must throw it away.
Go on,
Oh.
Daniel, a fold.
Nice fold.
Is a queen good enough for me?
Show him the 8.
Phil pulls almost even with Daniel here for the chip lead.
We'll be back for more from Vegas at the Premier League table from the M Resort.
Welcome back to the Party Poker Premier League Poker Season 4. There are 5 left in this final league match, and tonight we find out who goes straight through to the final table, who gets a second chance in the heads-up matches, and who is going home.
There's no reason for Vanessa to ante herself off right now.
She seemed a little intent on doing it anyhow, though.
And they would both.
Even if
Basically,
you're third
Luke
and I'm
just has to
second,
outlast Vanessa. He's on her
pass
left. He
you.
has
Well,
more
actually, Vanessa
chips.
comes- I
And
can still
even if
come second
Vanessa
to you.
comes 4th right now, it doesn't look like that's going to be enough.
I'm okay.
18
Never mind.
points. I mean, what is she waiting for?
I don't know.
She has so many reasons to move her
so much
chips.
stuff that plays into this. I mean, such an obvious, like,
I think everybody needs a points coach.
so sick. Cool.
So
I don't know why Phil's done
sick,
that.
Limp.
It was so obvious to raise there, wasn't it?
I needed Vanessa money in there. That's what I needed.
And this would be a horrible shove from
let's
Luke.
see a flop, isn't it?
Yeah, it would be a terrible shove. The call is interesting.
I could have won this easily.
Even the
Right, even the
call,
call
I
is
actually
big
question.
Daniel. Maybe I won
Yeah.
a big pot.
Maybe.
exactly.
Or maybe not.
Like, what are you gonna do now?
All in.
How much?
I mean, is it worth 60,000? Maybe.
Now that he's gotten to this point, yeah, that seems like the play. He just has the best hand so often.
You're right.
It's so sick, isn't it? It's so sick.
I had you beat too, and I just
No.
But fraught with danger. I mean,
Yeah, that had me beat.
I had an ace.
Isaac, there's sort of every evidence that Luke is
I had an ace,
just
but I need.
he's just decided that he's just going to forget about it and play because he just can't be bothered. And as he says, he's the best heads-up player in the world. He
trying
don't
to keep-
care.
Like if I go all in
Here,
on your,
take that.
Maybe that's what he's got to
if I
do.
go all in on your
Yeah.
blinds, you kind of got to fold aces.
You know, maybe he's
calling
just
you.
going to make
I don't care,
himself
'cause I need to win.
No, you need to win. Yeah.
more problems by
No,
trying to
you'll keep
outlast
me. You need to
Vanessa.
keep
I don't
me.
know.
I like you around, son.
Kid.
Fold.
Kid.
She's got to move. What is she?
I'm all right.
Fold.
I'm almost tilted into shoving with something like that, though. Now I can't even make me longer. It's,
A lot of people would have shoved with that.
I actually think that was a good fold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she's
Yeah.
getting called so often.
Negreanu and Hellmuth can both call so easily. They both have tons of chips.
Cool.
Yeah, she's just not getting enough folds, and it's not a good enough hand.
This is such a great spot for Hellmuth.
Ooh, maybe home run.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Home run. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Check it.
Check. All right, let's go. Check.
Daniel could have. Oh. Whoa. The king on the board might
60,000.
save Phil.
Well, I gamble with you. Maybe. Maybe I hit my card.
What a card on the turn. If Phil pays this off, he is going to hit the moon. Is it a king or nothing? King or better or nothing? Or is it better than a king or nothing?
See, Jesse, this is it right here, buddy. This is where the rubber meets the road, kid. This is where I was rooting for him to just move in before the flop so I could snap call. And now some weird 9 comes off.
That's why you're the best, Phil.
Fold.
That's
a good
why
fold.
you're the best.
That's a good fold.
I didn't like that last card. That was bad.
Solid
I
fold.
had straight already.
I had pocket queens. I had pocket queens, so
7-8.
against 7-8. I pot size betted in position, and I couldn't win. I pot size betted in position, knowing that Daniel thinks I have nothing every hand. So,
Yeah, that's what I put you
which I don't blame you. I mean, you know.
You have had nothing most of the time.
Well, I've had some hands, but you got a lot of chips. I don't blame you.
I know.
And I'm playing a lot of hands. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you did anything wrong. I was just like excited for the situation.
Queens in
Fold.
position's usually
Fold.
pretty good with a guy who has chips.
It's a big fold. Rousso, she's got 20,000 in, 74,000 back. You know, legitimately, what
I'm
is
all in.
All in.
Fold.
All right,
She's
I think
going to
I have
call
to.
quickly here, I'm pretty sure.
I've looked, yes.
she has to call?
I think so.
It's the best. She hasn't found any good situations. I guess she's been pretty card
she say
dead,
call?
although she did fold an ace, some big aces at some point. She's been kind of hemlocked in the entire game.
Yeah, she mostly hasn't had a lot of good spots.
And yet, if she finishes fourth, right now she's obviously just 5 left. Fourth would get her to 18 points. That is so almost never. I think that is almost never going through.
Yeah, advancing one spot is
Roland
no good
would
here.
have to go out
You could
next.
so easily have me dominating.
Luke would have to come back and
It's
win.
like, why would you shove that much into Roland? Who could call you? You have to have at least a better ace or a pair. Neither situation is good for me.
But I mean,
I just don't think
Would you
that's
say I had
true.
to
I
have at
think
least
Phil
an
can
ace?
have all kinds of things that are
Better
not
ace
an ace
for me
or a better
or a
pair.
pair.
well, what does the math say about actually?
I think it's really risky otherwise, but I mean, I don't know if you need. I think.
calling from behind because there's
I think
20,
it's actually a really bad
30,000
call.
in there.
I fold.
Such a big percentage of her stack.
Yeah,
Yes. But you can beat ace 3.
I did have ace 3 beat actually.
Yes. You had me
Chop it up.
dominated. Yes.
Well, she would have played a pot for about
Really, you don't lie to
200
me, right?
there.
Don't lie to me right now.
She's gonna have
I
trouble
showed you an
playing for a
ace.
pot
No,
bigger
believe
than
me, but you're
150.
saying you did have me dominated.
cards are
Alright.
Just wondering.
You put me
I don't
exactly on a
know.
deuce. I said
I don't think
I'm
it's
just
a
saying,
good
but you
fold.
wouldn't lie to me. Like, don't lie to me.
I had you beat.
Someone has got to send the monkey in to tell Luke exactly how to play this spot. if he ends up shoving into Daniel or something, it's gonna be
Raise?
crazy.
I bet it's 60.
Raises to 60,000, pass.
What do you think it's going to be?
60.
Negreanu knows this.
All in.
Sweet.
There, maybe that's what she was waiting for. Oh wow. Oh wow. Well, he covers her.
How much more do I have to call?
It's 74 total.
She's got
Look,
74 total.
I mean, Isaac, is the right play actually to fold here because
I'm going to call.
Daniel can take her out?
Check in the dark.
Oh, this is mean.
The right play probably was to fold.
74. This kid's
so.
smart.
Because if Vanessa wins this pot, Luke is in horrible shape. And
This is huge for the league.
if the
I
ace
checked.
comes,
This is just
Luke
huge.
is gonna hit the wall, isn't he?
I checked in the dark.
Rousso all in. It's gone
check down
check,
as
and she needs an ace.
Yeah, I checked.
She needs an
Feels like it's
ace.
getting closer to Vanessa this time, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'm going to check anyway. See how.
For Lady Vanessa.
I got the board.
Yes, 7.
You win it.
And Luke's taking her out, and Vanessa Rousso out of the Premier League, but Luke Schwartz
Yeah, 7-4
now on the final table,
Sorry.
and
Yeah,
that could be at the expense of Giovanni Safina.
You can't
It could
go
be,
there.
yes, if you win it or go above, as long as it's not like me 4th, you 3rd, it's okay.
4 left, and how exciting is this? Game on between Daniel Negreanu and Hellmuth. Negreanu needs a 3rd or better. Hellmuth needs 2nd, but he has to beat Daniel.
There's not much left to say, really, Vanessa, except that it's been a very frustrating Premier League, I can tell, for you. Not a lot of great spots there, not a lot of great cards. Give us your overall impression of your own play here.
I mean, I think I made the best of a pretty crappy situation. Happy with how I played it. Pretty much nothing ran in my favor, so not much else to say.
Give me your idea about who do you think is the strongest player in this field and who may be able to take this down.
I mean, that's a really hard question to answer. I mean, you guys have I mean, the world's top players all fighting this out. So, I mean, there's a lot of world-class players still left to duke it out for the title. At this point, I mean, I'd say I like Phil and David's chances, given that how many chips they're going to go into the final table with. If Daniel squeezes out a win in this one, though, he could give them a run for their money.
Certainly. Thank you very much. We appreciate you taking the time. Thanks.
And then I started with 8.
Well, Luke guaranteed 29 points now. It's basically Safina makes the final table
Daniel
unless
won.
Roland DeWolf wins.
action's
None
on
of the other
Roland.
results matter.
Roland
Roland
finished
now guaranteed
Pass.
20.
Where does
the
Roland
other
stand with
scenario.
tie breaks with JC?
It's going to come
Where
down
did
to the
you finish?
head-to-heads.
One
If Roland
fucking
DeWolf goes out
second, he
4th, it's going to
finished
come down to their
third, and I can't remember what
head-to-heads.
happened in the other
Because they're going to have identical
Probably got him. You got the
records.
2nd against him.
All right, they're telling
got
us
him.
that JC will beat
No, I
Roland
bluffed
on
him in-
tie breaks
That's
if
the first
Roland
heat, the one
It
where
looks
I
like
flipped
that.
goes out here.
The one where you were commentating, what happened in that heat?
Find that out. They should tell you that.
Yeah.
30,000.
Marty.
It's a big pot.
I'm putting you on 4-5 suited, Daniel. if I were
Limp
you.
and check.
Will you put me on? I have no idea.
Negreanu leading with his 9
Luke, you're
kicker,
definitely
and that was a
through.
good card to preserve it.
80?
Straight 3 streets of value.
80.
That call.
And Hellmuth's been getting away from pots on the river, or he did the last one against Negreanu.
Barring a pretty strong river card, it'll be hard for Phil to get away from top pair here, I think.
Are you
150,000.
fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? All fucking league I've had to deal with this bullshit, and you deal this guy 7-8 and deal me queens, and now you flop me top pair. And make his hand again. Wow. I mean, are you freaking kidding me?
He's going to lay this one down too, isn't he?
He just might. That would be
Wow.
pretty good fold if he
So
did.
ridiculous.
Is it a game flow fold? Is it
I mean, it might be
a
bluffing.
read?
I mean,
Might be bluffing.
might be bluffing here.
Now that 9 plays too.
Pass.
He's making some good folds now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Yeah.
what Phil
That's
Hellmuth does, is
unbelievable.
make good folds.
That could be a little bit
Yeah.
fucking scary. That's what they have to do every year in the Premier League. I lose every fucking race. They beat Queens with 7-8, like it's just like it's nothing. Like when I'm pot raising it, I'm still gonna bust them. I'm still gonna take you down today, Danny boy. Actually, I'm not even gonna try. I'm just gonna play great, see what happens.
If anyone else goes out except
30.
Luke, I'm through.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's
If
what
one of you goes out
Negreanu
now,
has
I'm
realized. His mission is very
I'll be rooting
clear.
for just that sort of thing to
Anybody except for Luke goes out, he is in. As far as Phil is concerned, he can never get in with 3rd
Call.
and can only get in with 2nd if Negreanu goes out next.
I'm ahead of JC though, right?
If that's the case, then you would be.
Okay, I'm gonna raise 100.
Yeah, I think
So
Phil
it's
knows what he's
130
doing.
now?
Phil has to put pressure on Negreanu.
Call.
It's a good spot to just. If I bust you myself, that'd be really good for me.
both need to play the pot.
If I double through you, that's great for me.
play
That's
the pot
exactly
against each
right.
other.
If you double for me, that'd be good for you.
These guys
if I
are
bust you,
corked
this
to
would be
play
good
a
for me.
pot. But Hellmuth's on the re-raise on the 9-3, Isaac. How does he win from here? You just got to go maniac, right?
I mean, there's only a little over a pot-sized bet left to go.
He has to go animal. He has to go animal. He can't let Negreanu do what JC did to him.
A lot of chips in the middle here.
Right,
60.
60,000? Really? That's kind of weird. Hang on, let me think. I just don't even remember what I have.
Wow.
Do a little for luck. So what do I got to get you out of? 320 more? All right, let's figure out how I can do that. There's got to be a way I can get him in his hand. There has to be something I can do. I got to figure this out.
He's going all in.
Call somebody and figure it out. Okay, I'm going to call the guy. See what happens.
Call.
Okay, now I'm going to ask for the 7 of hearts. Then you're just screwed. Maybe, or not.
Check.
Hello.
100.
100,000.
All right. You played this hand too good, Daniel. You really did, man. Well done. Still
I don't
played
know.
aces?
Was that flop bet a mistake, or does it just look like one now?
He did. He did a great job.
It's hard to say. That was a really small flop bet.
Check.
The fact that he called 100 on the turn. Oh.
Looks like he's going to be facing a shove here. And it'll be a little hard to get away for 4-1. I mean,
This is Phil's Premier League.
Mullen.
All in.
This is it. It's a really awkward pot. You know, Hellmuth could roll this all back, and
Pass.
he's gotten away from it.
now Negreanu just has a massive chip lead.
That pot was really awkward from start to finish for Phil Hellmuth. I think, Isaac, I mean, overall, if you're going to make that re-raise the 9-3, if you're going to get called, you're going to have to go animal on it, aren't you?
I think so.
You can't put Daniel on a range anyway, so you just got to gamble, really.
Yeah. Yeah, when he just limps and calls, I mean, he so rarely has a pair. And it's so hard for him to call the flop.
Pass. Pass.
Let's do it.
Oh no, he's in trouble. The open shove all in. I wonder if he could have found that earlier when there was that big pot. But he needs to win. He knows he needs to win.
I feel like negative energy from the 7th. That's a king.
No Ronnie Diamonds either.
I've won one coin flip in the Premier League this whole season and like maybe won the whole last season.
So you played great.
Yeah, we say what you want to say, Roland, but 5 makes it interesting.
Ooh, the 5 of diamonds gives it.
Well, that's not as
so
interesting.
You got extra outs.
That is quite interesting.
That would be a sick river if it comes like off 3. 7!
He hit it.
There you go, buddy.
He
There
hit
you
it.
go.
He hit it.
It's kind of sickening. Fuck you.
270.
Yeah.
You cheeky shit.
That'll keep Phil alive.
270.
Hellmuth alive and well in it.
We didn't determine
Roland
how we were
can't be
gonna
very
do this.
happy to see that. Things are
We'll figure it out.
beginning to take shape for the only possible way for
Told you it was
Roland
a black
not to
7.
make it.
I know my cards.
Yeah, baby, that's it. Let Hellmuth hit one. Yeah.
Feeling good?
Finally. Yes, that's what it feels like.
Fine, please roll.
Feed him. Feed the troll. Big blind there.
And this is the Wolfe's big blind.
All in.
Stacked it all up.
Under the
throw it all
gun
down.
from Schwartz.
Pass. Pass.
Cool.
And
Wow.
Roland the Wolf can call a little light
Big.
here.
We need Luke.
King
We need
something.
an ace.
We need Luke.
We both need Luke.
Good luck, buddy.
Let's go.
Oh, it's 2 kings. He did not call a light.
Nothing personal.
It is what it is.
We could use an ace, not you, of course, but
It's not the door card.
gosh, that's not an
Good
ace.
spot for the Wolf.
Deuce 4.
That's good.
Wow, and if Roland gets this
Ace,
pot,
ace, then a king.
he's going to have a heck of a chance to win this.
A 4 doesn't
He
make
certainly will.
He can still make the final table.
The favorite, yeah.
He can knock Safine out.
There's no ace in there.
Just avoid it one time. A 7 somewhere in the deck. There must. Can I look at the bone cards?
No, don't touch the deck.
There is an ace from space.
There you go. I might still be in.
I don't think you are.
You are.
Roland the Wolf. He, as you
That's a
said,
big double up for
Yeah.
Roland.
All right, here's
somewhere
200,
between lucky and genius.
250,
That's his Premier League.
270, 280. 280 total.
And
They
for
are.
Phil Hellmuth, he gets through with a second unless Negreanu
It
comes
is.
first.
I might fold.
15 now.
Just to be nice to someone.
Phil can't raise, he needs you in. Someone needs you in. They need you in.
No, I mean, I can't play that game anymore, sadly.
And actually, it's starting to set up for Negreanu for him coming in third not being enough. If Luke goes out next,
Raises to 60,000.
then third is not enough for him.
Pass. Pass. 50 total.
Only queen.
Wow! Wow.
I guess I had you beat.
I had queen 8. I was thinking about shipping.
Queen 8, that would have been good for me.
Queen 8. Well, I mean, him finishing in the
There you go.
This is
Wow,
it for
when I hit a queen,
Schwartz,
wow, that would've been
but
sick if
he
he
can
played it.
smile.
Running
Good flop for
hearts.
me,
Hearts and
although I would have.
Running hearts.
I don't care what.
Could do
It's a
it.
good flop for you, I guess so.
I'm gonna get the one.
That'll do
I'm gonna
it.
get a
All
1,
right,
2,
see
3
you in
in
the
my in the
final.
draw.
And Luke Schwartz will be
Congratulations,
in
Luke.
the final.
Thank you.
Which
Third.
means Roland has locked up a spot in the playoff.
Big dogs.
That's true.
Philly big dog.
What a turnaround it's been for Daniel Negreanu. From 120,000 in chips, he's now guaranteed a seat in the playoffs. Hellmuth's done well, but has to go one better. He needs to finish higher than Daniel Negreanu in this heat to knock J.C. Tran out of the Premier League and take the defending champions' playoff place.
So Luke is out of this last league match, but he's in the final. You're in the top 4, so it must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was relieving. I should have been in the top 4 like about this time yesterday or even earlier yesterday if Fraser hadn't come first. But now I'm there.
Coming up, our 3 remaining players fight to the finish in a scramble to keep their Premier League dreams alive.
Welcome back to Season 4 of the Party Poker Premier League, where the game's elite are battling it out for a $1.5 million prize pool. The final league match is in action, so let's get back to the table.
Does anyone else need a rest?
All of a sudden, there's this new dimension going on where even though Negreanu wanted to knock out Hellmuth before, it's actually not as important right now.
Right.
He actually is into folding to second.
Right, which is interesting because he's the chip leader.
Right, but Hellmuth still
I
needs
just
to
figured
knock
there's
him
nobody's
out.
but yeah,
Right.
I hear you.
So he can actually start putting a lot of pressure on him. 3 betting now is well on.
Yeah, Negreanu has to be rather conservative here.
And Wolfe can just take a real gamble if he wants to.
Right, Wolfe doesn't care if he gets second or third.
Check.
He just needs to try to win.
God, there's so much
60,000
equity
is
for
bet.
Wolfe in winning.
Yeah. He's got about a quarter of the chips. He's in a perfectly good spot to do it.
Pass.
Bet from Negreanu, Hellmuth with the call. This pot over 200K, and
Check.
a lot of reasons for Negreanu to shut down here. What do you think?
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah, I agree. So does he. Interesting to see how Phil tries to get a little value out of this. I don't think it's going to work no matter what he tries. But
Negreanu's on 1.1 million. It just,
Check.
I check.
Check.
yeah, he's given up.
2 pair is good.
Massive. Oh my gosh. Could Hellmuth come back? I mean, could he?
I didn't think you could bet.
I wonder
but
what
didn't
the
think
most
you could call.
likely scenario
Not
is.
good raise though.
You're good.
I think it's
yeah,
Roland
9-7.
calling Phil.
I was going to say the same. Yeah.
I actually made a heads up once. It's
How about the
alright.
line?
It's okay, boys. It's nothing to be scared of.
Or Phil calling Daniel. But see, Daniel, exactly. Daniel shouldn't be shipping light, should he?
Right, he doesn't have a whole lot to gain from it.
Phil.
What do you have? 600?
Yeah. I'm all in.
Calling and all in.
And
Roland making a little bit of a
can beat a
loose
lot of
jam
hands
here.
buddy. You don't have king queen, do you? You just ship it with king queen in this spot? I guess maybe you would. You think I'm just gonna lay it down?
Whew, I mean,
he needs to be doing it with some hands a lot worse than king queen for it to work out well on the balance for Phil to call here.
It's not just that. It's that Phil calls, he wins. It's still not over.
If we were in the
Right.
So it's like, you know, he's got to win a 60-40 and then win it right.
That was good.
Would have
right?
been a
Ace?
fine spot for him to open jam, I think, but
it also might have been a fine spot for him to call Negreanu in the same sort of spot.
Right. If somehow that spot plays out the same, only it's Negreanu in that seat, he can definitely call there.
Lines up now to 40,000, and Roland's announced all in.
I am going to, let me think.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to do something.
And there's not much difference
to
between
call.
call and re-raise, right?
Right, because he is in. He is in if he knocks out the Wolfe.
Okay.
So this is big for Negreanu.
I do, yeah. Well, Ace King's supposed to be ahead of a random all-in button.
You know, maybe I was supposed to call there.
I was thinking about whether or not I should
I had
leave you in or
10
not.
jack. I probably was supposed to call
I don't
there.
know.
It's big for the Wolfe. I mean,
Give yourself a shot at it.
Yeah, give myself a shot
24%
at
of the time, this thing is blown wide open.
Hey.
Hey.
For Negreanu, 2 more cards.
Gotta dodge
to
the
the
running
final
heart.
ace for sure.
Yeah. 5-7,
Yeah.
obviously an 8.
Oh,
That's okay. Also.
Could be choppy.
Yeah.
I think Hellmuth wouldn't mind the chop.
Is that good for you or bad?
I kind of want Roland to win this spot,
Oh
right?
yeah, because you need me out, right?
Right.
You get to 19.
But whatever. I mean, I haven't been thinking about it.
Okay. All right, heads up again.
We'll see you. We'll see you. Heads up, maybe.
The Wolfe is in the heads up. He's going to go out with 22 points.
I'll take those.
And Giovanni Safina
Well,
is
Phil, I
now
can
at the
honestly say
final
I could care
table.
less if you
It's
win or
Locke,
not.
Benyamine, Luke Schwartz.
I'm in or not. I'm in.
Yeah,
so
I know.
The situation really interesting now because Hellmuth obviously has to win to get into the playoffs. Negreanu's in. If he loses, he'll play J.C. Tran, and if he wins, he'll play Ian Fraser.
So Roland is third here for the final league match. That means you go through to the heads-up stages. It is still, the dream is still alive for you. You must be ecstatic.
Well, I'm kind of really pleased to make it through. It was such a battle, and I had so many callers, like, just all along, like, the cards were trying to screw me, like, kings into aces against Tony G. I'm like, blind on blind. It was ridiculous how I didn't go broke there. And then I had a huge pot against Hellmuth where I had him drawing dead to 3 outs. Having said all that, managed to, like, find a couple of good spots and get myself into the heads up, which I've been in the last 2 years. So, again, it's this time 2 out of 3 times I've done it. Just found ace-8 with 15 big blinds. Yeah. And
Seems fine to me.
Yeah, so I just shoved, and Daniel found ace-king, which is very annoying. Because I really, really wanted to win that pot and be like in a great shape to make the final. But I'm confident in my heads-up game, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'll be back for the heads-up, and we live to fight on.
1 playoff place left. Interested spectators, none more so than J.C. Tran. Will it be him or Hellmuth taking that last place?
We've reached the heads-up stage for our final league match. For Daniel Negreanu, he's assured a place in the playoffs, but for Phil Hellmuth, nothing but a win will do. So let's get the cards in the air.
We both made it. Oh, no,
It's so amazing. I mean, both of these guys have come out of nowhere. And Phil Hellmuth can have a big smile because you know what? He's really showed up and given it
And Roland was only out of there,
excellent
and he was
effort.
short stack right away.
And Negreanu, what an up and down day he had. They'll be talking about that hand against Luke Schwartz forever.
Absolutely.
The situation really interesting now because Hellmuth obviously has to win to get into the playoffs. Negreanu's in.
1.7,
And
right?
it looks like
I got a chip lead on you.
if he loses,
Yeah.
he'll play J.C.
Massive,
Tran,
right?
and if he wins, he'll
You
play
got
Ian
1.7,
Fraser.
1.7,
But
you
there's
got like,
the prize money, there's chips at the final table
Right.
at stake.
Check.
Check. 40,000.
Hellmuth's limped here,
Kind of cool.
and Negreanu's peeling off with the straight draw.
Check. 40,000. Fold.
It's a really funny situation, especially
Yeah.
Hellmuth 3-1 disadvantage.
You were
Not,
usually.
not this shallow. That's usually. If it's deeper, that's.
And the thing you can't throw out of the whole thing is that Hellmuth is just wants this bad. And I love how bad he wants it. And he could reship here so easily.
Yeah, I mean,
Raise.
in a cash game, these two hands get dealt 15 big
All in.
blinds deep
And
heads
all
up.
in.
They're all in
think I
pre-flop
fold.
every time.
Pretty sure I can't fold. Yeah, I call.
This is it. So this is big. This is so big. And maybe Negreanu doesn't know who he's rooting for, but Hellmuth needs this hand to fold.
680. I don't do insurance. Just count out your money right here in case you win.
Where's the ace?
That's pain or paint? I think I might hit a jack or a king, but he might hit an ace.
You might.
It might happen.
Turn an ace and end this race. That's what I have to say.
Turn an ace to end this race, yo. That's not good.
That's
Now
a
I need
good card
That's
right there.
taken
Took away a
away
couple.
an out.
Just
one card.
yeah, one
Yeah,
card.
it takes away the
Jack
jack
of
of hearts.
All right.
Phil will
Yes, I
double up
saved
and
money by
take a small
canceling
chip.
insurance.
Wow. Phil Hellmuth.
Go.
And Fraser there, because he knows the permutations. He knows he's playing Negreanu if Phil Hellmuth wins. He's played a lot of pots really well today.
Cool. Option.
What do you overall
Yeah,
think
let's see
of
the flop.
Negreanu's ride in this last match? It's been volatile.
Yeah, it's been nuts, but I mean, he needed second or better. He needed to gamble.
Right.
I think he played real well.
Check.
He gave himself so many opportunities to win pots with the small balling pre-flop, and very few people would do that, would they?
80.
80,000.
Hellmuth has to sort of not celebrate and seal the deal. You don't want to celebrate too early.
Yeah, he only has a small lead now.
200.
200,000.
It's an interesting raise. It beats all bluffs. Could it knock out a 3 here?
Yeah, it's got a shot, but it's a weird line. I wouldn't be at all surprised if Negreanu doesn't give him any credit here.
And a weird line with king high because of the showdown value, right?
Cool.
Weird line with king high because of the showdown value. Weird line with anything to check the flop and raise the turn here, really.
Check.
Check.
Check. Check.
Two pair.
That has switched the tables, turned the turkey, but there's not that much in it. They're
Had a
still
king
both
high,
over
too.
$1 million.
No John or no? Just
Yeah, they are
I thought
just
king was
as
good.
close
I
to
mean,
dead even
obviously,
as you could expect him to get here.
I limp with a big king to trap you. You hit your man.
And now
30
we are
big
pretty much
blinds
even.
deep.
I wonder which of these guys is sort of more experienced about heads up. I mean,
Oh,
Hellmuth,
Negreanu without a doubt.
although Hellmuth did have some good runs in the NBC heads up tournament.
Yeah, but
Raise.
Negreanu plays the big
80,000.
heads up tournaments online, has played heads up cash online. I've played a little with him. He's a tough heads up player.
240.
240,000.
Can you small ball it heads up?
Absolutely.
And
In
Hellmuth's-
fact, that's exactly what Negreanu does heads up in my experiences. He's very good at playing a lot of small pots in position and winning more than his share of them.
and
That's cool.
should Hellmuth have rethought his raise size? I mean,
That size seems all right to me. It's a little on the big side, but
it's a big pot. He's going to be happy to hit that ace.
150.
150.
I like the sizing here for sure.
Fold.
Very quick decision. I mean, think about that 3-9 hand where he counted down the stacks for about an agonizing 11 minutes before he bet. He just made a weak bet. Maybe you shouldn't read anything into that. I mean, Phil's a pro. It's funny how well these guys know each other. I mean, there's this antagonism with them online, in the interviews, at the table, and it's almost like siblings in a sense. I think because they both want to distance themselves from the other, and yet, like, there's a lot of people who would kind of lump them together. You know, they come from the same era.
Yeah.
The only difference is that Negreanu is so big on sort of modernizing his game, learning from the young guys.
121.
With his really holds on to the.
Yeah, they may have come from the same era, but, you know, you cover up the face behind the cards, and Negreanu doesn't look like he's playing poker 10 years ago, and sometimes Phil really
You're rolling
does.
at King Jack, he had ace-10, and he won, so that was your shot.
I guarantee you, Hellmuth's never been in a spot like this. I mean, in the old days, the only guy who used to regularly get in these kind of spots was Eskimo Clark, you know.
Cool. All right, check.
Didn't some guy recently oversell himself and win an EPT? Wasn't there a big scandal about that?
There was a lot of rumors. I'm not. It was a Dutch fella. It got out in the press and all this, and I don't think the truth ever really came out. But there were certainly people talking about that. Yeah. And nice fold by Hellmuth there to the double barrel, or was that just easy?
I mean, it shouldn't be. Folding a pair heads up is never easy.
We're so close to dead even. I think
all those strategic considerations aside,
you get 1.1.
their history means there's a certain pleasure
I don't know what I'm supposed to do there,
for Negreanu to be able to bust Hellmuth out of the Premier League.
Oh, yeah. There might even be some side bets in play.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out exactly what price you could put on that. You know, Negreanu, I mean, how much would it be worth? Certainly,
that's amazing.
Certainly more than the. Could be 6 figures.
Talking about a guy who went 40 rebuys deep in the 1K rebuy at the World Series one summer, just because he wanted to win.
Right. Yeah, he was the happiest man alive, Negreanu, when they cut out the rebuy tournaments. It saved him a fortune. And Hellmuth's peeled off this flop for a min raise, but it's big.
I mean, he hasn't missed an opportunity to take a flop with 5-2 off yet today.
Strong point. It's true.
Yes.
It is true.
Nice hand.
Is that the third, maybe the fourth time we've seen Phil Hellmuth at the flop,
there?
having voluntarily put chips in?
I wasn't in there with the straight.
Jack 9.
There's Tony G back in the building, but out of the Premier League, and just trying to find out what he can't believe that Hellmuth has a chance to get out of relegation. Oh no. Oh no. Hellmuth may have trapped. Yes, he has. Oh, God.
Hellmuth all in and in trouble.
Jeez.
Oh, how far ahead was King 9 of Negreanu's range there?
JC said.
In pretty solid shape.
Yeah,
without
pretty
a doubt.
solid. Okay.
I got aces, he's got King 9 and diamonds.
JC is the happiest man in the building right now.
Look at JC Tran. Oh, Tony's there, JC, Eddie Hearn, Roland, Fraser. The whole Premier League's come down to this.
I feel like I'm going to win this hand.
The 3 is a good one. Oh, that's a good flop.
Oh, I don't feel like it anymore.
Running diamond's his best chance. Yeah, he needs a diamond, a 9, or a king to even be live going to the river.
That's it.
And that is it.
That is it.
Well played, man.
Phil Hellmuth out of the Premier League, but
JC Tran thanking Negreanu.
We're meeting tomorrow.
We'll find out.
Great effort for Hellmuth. Just relegated there, but
one more card just in
really
case.
showed his colors.
Just in
And
case
for
it's 3
Daniel
hearts.
Negreanu,
You know, in case it's
Tony,
a
you're
3 hearts.
really
nice
brutal on that.
performance for him.
You don't have to be
There we
so
go.
negative. I mean, I
That's
just,
okay.
I just,
Good. Bring the boys in for
I know, but I just missed by 1 point, and you're in my face without so much negativity. It's not right.
Just having fun.
That's not fun. I mean, that's a little brutal. You know. I mean.
final lead.
League standings. Great Premier League for Locke, Benyamine, Schwartz, and Safina. They will be at the final table. Their points converted to chips at the rate of 10K per point. In the playoff zone, 2 seats at that final table. Negreanu taking on Tran and Fraser taking on Wolfe in head-up matches to determine their fate. We'll say goodbye to the 4 players in the relegation zone. Hellmuth missing out in the end by only 1 point.
Daniel Negreanu takes down the last league match, knocking out Phil Hellmuth in the process and going into the heads-up stages. Feelings about the game today?
Oh man, it was such a rocky ride for me. You know, the really weird situation with Luke, who's not even there. He shows up, he has to have aces, I have an ace, it's impossible, he has it, really? So now all of a sudden I was on the nub, you know, quickly bounced back, and then I thought a third would get me in. I was certain of that, except a few scenarios, and it happened where it was that scenario. So now I realized I had to come second, and then I have the weird thought of my head of, okay, you know, if I lose to Phil, who do I play? And not to say that Ian's not an accomplished player, but I know that JC Tran is has a lot more experience, probably heads up. So there's that in the back of my mind. There's, do I want the 50,000 more? Do I want this? So it was sort of a blah, 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 one of those.
After an incredibly tense and hard-fought battle, Phil Hellmuth came second here today, which is just not enough to put you into the final, even into the heads-up. But we saw such a different side of your game today. It was amazing watching some of those moves. Talk to me about your situation there at the table.
Yeah, you know, I mean, look, I feel really good. I really do. I mean, I love the pressure and the heat, and it was fun. And I knew coming in that I had to finish second to make the Premier League. And then all of a sudden, Roland, who was a short stack, he made a huge comeback. And then I knew that Roland couldn't finish third. If Daniel was first and Roland was third and I was second, that I wouldn't make it. So, I mean, it was, you know, so, I mean, look, I just feel good. I mean, I came in here, I played great poker. I felt like I deserved better, at least in 2 of these heats. Today, at least, I won a couple of coin flips. And look, I've been incredibly positive. And normally, after missing, you know, the Premier League by 1 spot, I'd be just really extraordinarily bummed out and upset. But I just feel like I'm walking on the path of like achieving great things right now. And I was off that path, but now I'm on the path of achieving great things. And I feel like it's going to be a great year for me, and too bad I came up short, but oh well.
Here's to a great year for Phil Hellmuth. Thank you very much.
You're a good man. At the end of the day, you're a good man. That's the
Thank
key.
you. That's true.
It's fine. It's all good, man.
All right, Tony G.
We need you there. Be
Yeah, you need me.
confident and be
It's good. It's good for the game.
We need everybody.
Daniel Negreanu wins the last league match, and our final table lineup is nearly complete. Join us next time for the heads-up playoffs when Daniel Negreanu, JC Tran, Roland Wolfe, and Ian Fraser battle it out for the last 2 spots in the final of the Party Poker Premier League 4.
We're having fun here.
I'll take it like a man, I promise.
Tough decision, huh? You got lucky there.
Oh, my God. Come on, Eraser.